Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Looting and treasure hunting in Star Citizen Alpha 3.17 is much more of a thing now. You can earn pretty good money for searching through an area and looting the bodies of the fallen, and there are many reasons to do so beyond just profit. Me and the lovely Zinnia went on a loot hunt while also doing some bunker missions, and I want to sort of have this video as a mixture of gameplay and chat about the mechanics and sort of where this feature's going with looting, treasure hunting, and reasons to sort of get more involved with the storing of items and then selling them and searching for them. 3.17 saw an overhaul of shop inventories. Shops now sell common items, although different shops sell different items and you might have to travel around to find what item you want, but you can buy these common items at shops. And many items are now not available in stores. So these are mostly referred to as uncommon items, and they are things like branded armor and some weapons. You can basically find them in loot containers or on bodies, but as I said, not in stores. There is also rarer loot in the form of more powerful weapons or very valuable stuff. You can find these just lying around or in loot containers on bodies. Subscriber items are also part of this loot pool, though new subscriber items have a 3-month exclusivity period though, so the new sort of flashlights that have been mentioned, that are underbarrel flashlights, it will be sort of next major patch or a little bit afterwards before they are added to the game. They want to incentivize some people to buy them. They want people to feel like they're special for getting them for free as part of the subscription and stuff like that, so they don't want them in the game immediately. I believe all pre-2022 flare and sub items should be in now, although it's not going to be all of them, it's just going to be the appropriate ones. I don't think that we've got any of the concierge items available as part of that loot pool yet though. Some items are only available in certain areas, and you can find the loot boxes around bunkers, derelicts, points of interest, and they're worth looting. They're worth having a look through. There's going to be a load of items in there that are not worth looting. There's going to be a load of bulky items, things like armor. I don't think it's particularly worth looting unless it's a suit of armor that you want or a particular rare suit. I often leave sort of ammo and some weapons behind, but you'll find a big list of things that you'll want to keep. Things like gems, there's pico balls, there's just very valuable items, some of which don't take up much room. If you're going to be looting, you're going to want a big backpack. You probably want heavy armor. You're going to want a gravity tool. And you probably want some relatively good weapons. Just taking bunker missions is a great sort of way of doing this because you'll get rewards for doing the bunker mission and then you'll be able to loot all the bodies. I wouldn't use explosive weapons in bunkers though, because Star Citizen can be a harsh mistress when it comes to bugs and explosions. Once you sort of got all your loot, just go back to your ship, store it in the ship storage there, bam, and go back for another run. Once you get efficient about knowing what's valuable and what's not, you don't actually have to worry about too many of the items. You can just do like a whole bunker, maybe just do 1 or 2 runs inside and out before you're sort of finished looting. So where do you sell all this stuff? Well, items are worth 50 to 90% of their sort of original value roughly when you sell them. You can only sell to a shop that sells that type of item, so FPS weapons, you sell to a shop that sells FPS weapons, and shops that sell that exact item will give you closer to 90% of the value rather than 50% of the value if they don't sell that item. Sometimes you're just going to want to get an item out of your storage, bam, just sell, go for another run, whatever. Sometimes you're going to want to sort of hoard up an item and actually go to different locations and just sell the items at certain locations. It depends on how you play. There are ways of blowing up your ship so that you can like get a semi-persistent larger loot box, sort of like causing your items in your ship to spawn this like big loot box which is then lootable, but then you like move that loot box into another ship and then you've got like this large persistent loot box which you can then put loot into, but I'm actually expecting that to get fixed in 3.17.1 or hotfixed pretty soon afterwards. It's sort of more exploity than anything else, although with the cargo refactor coming in the near future, buying large loot containers and having them stored in your ship's sort of a hold and then being able to move them around with a gravity tool as an actual proper feature, that's quite likely to happen very soon. Does looting make the most money? Well, it can make a good amount of money, and it makes some of the bunker missions a lot more fun, and yeah, if you're doing it with some other missions like the bunker missions and looting at the same time, it's a pretty good laugh. And if you're running with a crew, and I do recommend doing these sort of missions with a friend because it's good laugh. Star Citizen V is very much a social experience, and you can sort of takedown guards together. If one of you does go down, you can heal the other. Always bring some medical tools with you. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about soloing, sort of like looting and bunker missions, running them with like a carrack. So they sort of land with a carrack, and you can just respawn into your carrack if you die because it's got a tier 2 medical bed. I think it's a bit overkill though. I actually just prefer just running it with one other person, and then you're sort of minimizing your getting killed, because if you do get knocked down, you just get back up again. I think an important part of this sort of treasure hunting though is the fact that it is the only way now to get various weapons and items, and you can make a huge amount of money if you get a lot of sort of rare item or gem spawns as well. I do think it's one of the funnest and quite exciting things to do in Star Citizen at the moment. A bit of looting, a bit of grinding for treasure. Now, there's a little bit of a worry that people are going to want to loot each other a lot more now as well, because, well, you want to go and get that golden armor. You want to get that off another player, because there's only a few ways you can get certain items, and taking out another player, looting them, is going to be very much a way of getting those items. And as we move into sort of Star Citizen 3.18 and we get the cargo refactor, well, piracy is going to be potentially much more of a thing. If they have it so that you can actually go into a ship's inventory and take items, so it's not instantized, it's actually sort of persistent. If there are more lootable containers, if they're sort of loot containers that you can store on your ship separately, like cargo boxes, but you can actually interact with them, that's going to make the system a lot more interesting. I am expecting at some point as well that we're going to see locked hangars and containers around bunkers and points of interest, and if we have like the right codes, we might be able to loot the vehicles and ships inside. You'll probably start to see this around missions as well, like, we need to save the 890 jump. Well, maybe if we get some access codes or we search around, we might be able to get into an armory or a locked door, which will then have a load of loot in. Each major patch as well is going to add more loot into the loot pools, new weapons, new flare items, new subscriber stuff, and the environments are getting much more interesting as well. So Cloud Imperium are building out more modular pieces for sort of more complex levels. You're going to see this applied to underground bunkers and things like that, but other points of interest too. We know they're working on outposts for Pyro, and we know they're working on Reclaimer 400i and Mercury Star Runner derelicts, new space stations as well. These are all going to be a treasure hunter's dream and add a lot more variety to what we can loot and where. And as we get more of the dynamic universe sim and deeper reputation systems, you might want to work on certain missions for certain sort of groups and factions, because then you'll get access to the more difficult missions, which may allow you to go to more fortified and dangerous but loot-filled locations. You might be after a particular set of armor or an item for another mission or a particular weapon that you know can spawn there, or you're just like, well, more valuable loot can spawn here and more danger equal more better. It'll be interesting to see how this is applied to limited time events or events that only run for a few hours each week or whatever, be it Jump Town happening every so often when the sort of event is triggered, or be it like the Ninetales Lockdown, again whenever the Ninetales come along, or maybe we're talking about something that's a bit rarer that's going to happen with like the Xenothreat incursions. There might truly be some events that are one time only as well, or at least only like once a year, and some of the hidden loot that you might be able to find at those places in the future might be worth your time grinding for. I'm very much looking forward to Cloud Imperium adding persistent hangars, so an area that I can actually store all of this loot that I can then sort of rent more storage space for. I can hoard it there for multiple patches. I can sell it whenever I sort of want to sell it. I can maybe display some of it. I think that's going to be really, really cool. Somewhere we can also store our ships and that sort of jazz. We know that Cloud Imperium were working on persistent hangars, and a load of the tech they're sort of working on at the moment for persistent streaming and server meshing and hubs in general is all work on persistent hangars as well, really, or steps towards it. So I think it's something we're going to be seeing in the not too distant future, hopefully later this year, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my loot talk, but I am interested to know what you think. Are you really, really happy with the implementation of loot in 3.17 as basic as it is? Are you looking forward to how this evolves over the next few patches? Do you think the cargo overhaul in 3.18 is going to add a lot more to looting and some of the interesting stuff that we can do with loot and cargo? Do you think salvage is going to be a big part of looting and that sort of gameplay, will you have to think about going on board a ship and taking sort of like lootable items before you start salvaging a ship, otherwise you might lose some bits. Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. I saw NordVPN once. I was in a forest, late at night. I'd got lost, and then I heard it, an unearthly sound as if the wind was talking to me. NordVPN.com/BoredGamer. Then I saw him run at me. He was so free, almost as if he could be anywhere in the world. America, France, Australia. He was so secure, protected in layers of encryption that I could not even fathom. So majestic. Well, I heard that NordVPN was as big as a bear and could kick your head off. I've also heard that, which is why, just in case, I go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer to appease the beast. You can find links to that down below. If you're looking for a new god, why not try NordVPN? Every month we have a ship giveaway. This time for May, to celebrate Star Citizen Alpha 3.17's release, we're giving away 3 prizes to 3 separate winners. An Origin 100i luxury starter ship, a consolidated Outland Nomad versatile freighter, and an Aegis Avenger Titan multi-role ship. They all come with lifetime insurance and access to play Star Citizen. To be in for a chance of winning one of those 3 prizes, just comment on any of my videos made during May. More details in the description below. Thank you so much to everyone that watches, shares, comments, and likes my videos. It really does help the channel grow. Be sure to subscribe for more content. If you would like to go to the extra mile in supporting the channel, there is Patreon links below. There's a join button under my videos as well on YouTube that makes you a highly elite channel member with some extra perks and exclusive content. There's also the thanks button, which straight up gives us money, and you can leave a highlighted comment. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great May 2022.